but hell, I don't know it at all. One thing that's for certain, and I think old Hank would agree, that sure don't sound like country to me. Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't Johnny, Merle, or Hank, or Waylon Jennings, yeah, if it ain't got that honky-tonk heart like Ernest Tubb had from the start, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, nowadays in Nashville is like the Hollywood of the South. So-called country singers singing songs they know nothing about. Swimming pools and fancy cars, dating them big-time movie stars. Well, that don't sound like country to me. Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't Johnny, Merle, or Hank, or Waylon Jennings, yeah, if it ain't got that honky-tonk heart like George Jones had from the start, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, my grandpa sat down and he told me about 10 years ago. Said if you want to play country music, boy, you better have a lot of soul. Well, he came up from Kentucky and he passed it down to me. And this here sure as hell sounds country to me. Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't Johnny, Merle, or Hank, or Waylon Jennings, yeah, if it ain't got that honky-tonk heart like old Paycheck had from the start, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Okay, good afternoon and good evening to everybody. Welcome to the Steel and Fiddle Show with Kenny Schroeder. Today is Thursday, December 8th, 2016, and we have a great show lined up for you today. We started the show off with an artist that I found online after talking to the guest we're going to speak to in a couple of seconds. That song was by Whitey Morgan, and the song was called If It Ain't Broke, Don't Fix It. A real great honky-tonk song. And as I said, we have a special guest with us today. We have 16-year-old Charlie McNeal. He is from California in the U.S. And Charlie, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, welcome to the show, Charlie. Appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us here today. Why don't you just give everybody just a brief introduction and tell us just a little bit about yourself.
All right, well, I'm Charlie McNeal. I'm 16. Grew up all along the Central Coast. I love old country music. I love that old sound. Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, just like it was saying in the song. And yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
All right. Well, that's great. Let me ask you, how long have you been interested in the music?
Ever since I think about middle of 8th grade, I really started listening to the old stuff.
Okay.
Ever since then, ever since I moved from Carpinteria to where I'm at now.
All right. And when did you actually start really getting serious about getting into the music business as a performer?
So in August this year, we went to Nashville and recorded an album. And it's called Remember the Time, and that's when I really started to get serious about it and start trying to pursue it as a career.
Okay, that sounds good. Now, as I mentioned with you in our earlier conversation, I noted that the music coming out of Nashville is not really quite the same type of music that you're doing. So how would you categorize your music?
I'd say my music is definitely a lot more traditional than the stuff being played now. A lot of my influences, Merle Haggard, George Jones, and just anyone, not in my era, pretty much is, the kind of sound I'm looking for.
Okay, so there's really no one in, how do you want to say it? No one in the mainstream country that you're really into? Now, I
Definitely not super mainstream, but I do like Cody Jinks. He has a new single. It's called "I'm Not the Devil."
Okay.
It's been played on the radio, and I do like Chris Stapleton a lot, and the guy you played earlier, Whitey Morgan.
Whitey Morgan.
Those are the new kind of people I like,
Okay.
and also Sturgill Simpson as well.
All right. Well, like I said after the song played, I said Charlie's the one who turned me on to Whitey Morgan. So after I spoke to Charlie yesterday, I went looking for more music from Whitey Morgan, and you're right, I enjoy him also. Okay, great. Well, we're gonna play some music, and then we're gonna come back and talk a little bit more. Okay, so the first song we're going to play by Charlie, and all the songs that I'm going to play are songs that he wrote or had a hand in writing, and that's another thing that really impressed me about Charlie, and that's why I wanted to get him on the air. But first one we're going to play, Charlie, is Me and This Guitar. Could you tell everybody a little bit about that song?
Yeah, that song, it was one of the first songs I wrote by myself. I came up with it. I was just sitting in the garage picking some chords, and I just started singing the chorus, and it just kind of came out. And then ever since I got the chorus, I just started writing the verse and kind of putting myself in the shoes of someone, a young guy who's just going out on the road for the first time and, experiencing the world and trying to make it in the music business. That's really where I got my inspiration for it.
How long did it take you to write the song?
It took me about 2 days to complete it.
Okay, that's awesome. Very good. All right.
Thank you.
I wish I had that talent.
Oh, no, thank you.
Okay, so we're going to hear. This is from Charlie's new album, Remember the Time, and this is Charlie McNeal and Me and This Guitar.
4 months after I turned 18, I took my guitar to chase my dreams. Got some money and I bought myself a car. So I packed up all my clothes and gassed up and hit the road. Didn't know if it would take me very far. Now it's just me and this guitar again, playing this old bar again, loving every second of the way. Now it's just me and this guitar again, wishing I was a star again, Wish everybody knew my name. Gigs are cool, but they don't pay much. Just enough to quit my day job, spend all day playing my guitar. Every night it's a different stage and just trying to make my name and living off the tips from my pickle jar. Now it's just me and this guitar again, playing this old bar again, loving every second of the way. Now it's just me and this guitar again, wishing I was a star again. Wish everybody knew my name. Just me and this guitar again, wishing I was a star again. Wish everybody knew my name.
All right, that's Charlie McNeal and Me and My Guitar. Welcome back, Charlie.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Okay, we're gonna pick it up here. Let's see. What did I want to go to next? Okay, we're gonna talk about a little bit of personal stuff about you. Tell us a little bit about your family.
So my family, close family, I have one sister. She's older than me. Just recently moved out and live with my mom and my dad. And I have a lot of family too. Extended family lives in Bakersfield.
Okay, well,
And
that's a good place for your
yep,
family to be if you're into country music.
exactly. Yeah, it's a good place to start.
Okay, so what kind of musical influences did you get from the family? Any musicians out there with the family?
Oh yeah, a lot of musicians in the family, especially on my dad's side. They're super into country. As I said, a lot of them live in Bakersfield, and so they have kind of that Bakersfield sound. And we used to sit around the porch, and they used to play Hank Jr. and George Jones, and all the old music you could think of, and it really inspired me to start liking the music.
All right. Now I didn't talk about this before. Now you were influenced by all the music that was going around in the house. Now, did you listen to what were you listening to before you turned to country?
Well, before I turned to country, kind of embarrassing to say this, but I listened to a lot of hip hop, a lot of Katy Perry and all the mainstream pop that was going around.
Okay.
But then I found Waylon Jennings and never went back to that.
Well, you can just call up Kid Rock and talk to him about that.
Yeah.
He went through the same thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's great. All right, we're gonna play another song, and I think this is what probably the first song I found by you, Charlie, and this is what kind of turned me on. And I honestly don't remember how I initially found you. I think somebody sent me some type of link, and then I listened to it, and I said, "Oh my God, I gotta find out more." And then when I went to Charlie's Facebook page and I found out he was 16 years old, I had to look at the date again. I said, "Whoa, that doesn't match with what I just heard." But it kind of shocked me. But like I said, you've got a lot of talent, Charlie, and I wish you nothing
Thank
but
you.
the best. Okay, so this is Father and Sunday, and Charlie, I want you to tell everybody about this one because I know this is an interesting story.
Yeah. So I wrote this song with my dad when I was 10 years old, and it's about a divorced family and how the kid likes to spend time with his dad and everything like that. He lives with his mom, but sees his dad on the weekends, and so that's kind of where it came from. Um, And so I kind of put myself in the shoes of my friends and, other family, and tried to write a song, based on how they live. And that's how I came up with it. And, because my parents are, happily married and all the good stuff. But so it was it was an interesting song to write. And, it was,
Yeah, because most songwriters will write a lot of material from personal experience, and since this song
mm,
covers a topic that really doesn't pertain to you, it's really shows a lot of imagination and a lot of talent to do that. Okay, great. And so before we get to Father and Sunday, Charlie, I was just asked to give a special shout out and hello to you from Declan Laverne. He wanted me to let you know that he's listening, and he just sends, best wishes to you as well.
oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. So here we go. This is Charlie McNeal and Father and Sunday.
He came to pick me up in that beat up old rusty truck. Windows down, just talking out loud as I turned that radio up. And Johnny Cash came on singing Ring of Fire. On a Father and Sunday, it happens every Friday. Praying on Sunday that it would last till Monday. On a Father and Sunday, I wish Mom could see that on a Father and Sunday, my daddy spends his time with me. When you're 10 years old, it's hard to know why your mom and dad don't speak. I live with her and I do my chores and I wait for him all week. And Haggard came on singing, Mama tried. On a Father and Sunday, it happens every Friday. Praying on Sunday that it would last till Monday. On a Father and Sunday, I wish Mom could see that on a Father and Sunday, my daddy spends his time with me. I came to pick him up in that beat up old rusty truck. The windows were down, he don't talk too loud, so I turned that radio up. And Johnny Cash came on singing Ring of Fire. On a Father and Sunday, it happens every Friday. Praying on Sunday that it would last till Monday. On a Father and Sunday, I wish God could say that on a Father and Sunday, my daddy spends his time with me. That on a Father and Sunday, my daddy spends his time with me.
All right, that's Father and Sunday, and we're here talking with Charlie McNeal from California. Charlie, you still there?
Yep, I'm still here.
Okay, another great tune. Thank you very much. All right, what I want to talk about now, Charlie, we're going to talk about the music scene that you have out there in California. What kind of music? What kind of music are you exposed to out there as far as live music?
So live music around here, it's a lot of blues goes on around our town. It's called Arroyo Grande, and just on the Central Coast, and a lot of people like to drink wine and stuff. So blues is kind of the main music here. But there's a few country people, and definitely not a lot of pop country going around live here. A lot of the newer stuff. But as for old country, I met this guy named Johnny Best at a open mic night one time, and he had a beanie on and slippers, and I didn't know. I thought he was gonna play blues, but he ended up singing "I Don't Go Around Mirrors."
Oh, wow.
And it was a pretty cool experience, and we just hit it off right from there and started playing gigs around, and that's about all the old country that goes on around here, though.
Now, does he write music as well?
Yeah, he writes a lot of music. He writes, super super old style, super traditional, kind of like myself.
Okay. Any plans in the future with getting together to collaborate on some material?
Yeah, I would like to collaborate with him and write some more songs, but just recently he moved back to Bakersfield with his family, so it'll be kind of hard to get in touch. But for sure, if at all possible, I would definitely like to get together and write some songs.
All right. And I didn't ask this question when we were talking before. The other songs that appear on the album, the ones that you didn't write, where did those other writers come from? And
So, the writers came from all over, but I chose the songs with the producer for the album, Kim Copeland.
Okay.
She kind of gave me a list of songs to choose from, to cover and do on the album, and those are the ones I chose because, they're traditional, but there's also, they're also just in general good songs, and I felt a connection with them when I heard them.
And how long did it take you to record the album?
So the whole album, I believe it took 2 days for the music for the music and vocals and everything, because the musicians that we had were insane. Tim McGraw's drummer,
Okay.
John Anderson's fiddle player. Just the best of the best.
Yeah.
And so it was an honor to work with them for sure.
Makes it a good experience for your first time out. That's awesome. Okay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, now
it was pretty cool.
Now you're 16 years old, and let's face it, your peer group is 15, 16, and 17-year-olds. How have they responded to your music and your success?
So my close friends, they're all into it. They love it. They're always asking me for different jobs, security or manager, whatever. So my close friends definitely like the old style, but usually what happens for at least my age group, they're into a lot of rap and hip hop and stuff, but I still seem to get a pretty good response from them, no matter what kind of music it is.
Okay, well, that's good. As I told you, Charlie, we come from the same background. I mean, I grew up the same way with all my friends. I said, "Oh, you like country music? Oh my God!" But no, that's the music that my father exposed me to, and that's the music that I love too, and it's the traditional stuff that I like. Okay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's the best kind.
Yep. And I spoke to your dad, and we know that we're trying to open up your music to Ireland and the UK, because in that area they are producing a lot of good traditional straight ahead country. So that's why we're here. Now, have you had a chance to go online and try to find out a little bit more about some of the other artists that are going on over there?
Yeah, I looked up the Irish country scene, and just kind of to see who else is out there, and see if there's anyone 16-year-olds trying to make it like I am. And I actually came across this guy named Simon Peters.
Yep. And
he did a cover of Out Last Night. And I think he said it hit #1 on the iTunes charts.
Yes, it did.
For
yes,
Ireland.
It did.
And so it's just that gave me a lot of inspiration, because another, just like me, 16-year-old kid, singing old country.
That's it.
And I actually listened to a lot of his earlier stuff too.
Yep.
Did Jamie Johnson, Merle Haggard, and it was pretty cool.
You will find over there they have a lot of young artists that are doing traditional country. I mean, Simon Peters, Keelan Arbuckle, Owen Mack. There's a lot of young talent over there. So I think this is the place for you to try to expand your audience, and we're going to do all we can to help you with that. I promise you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Okay, we're going to play another song. Now, this one is the title cut of the album. And as I told Charlie, the first time I went through the music, I listened quickly the first time, and I said, "Oh, this is good." And when I was preparing for the interview, I went back and I listened to all the tracks again. And when I got to this one, the lyrics just really blew me away. Okay, this is a really this is something that I would not expect to come from a 16-year-old. But this is Remember the Time. And Charlie, give us a little background on this one, would you please?
Yeah, so this song actually is about this lady up in Oregon who, she was pregnant, and then she got diagnosed with cancer during her pregnancy. And so she decided to hold off on chemo, to help the baby, make sure the baby stayed safe. And after the baby was born, sadly she ended up dying. And so I heard the story on the news, and did some more research on it, and sat down and wrote this song. And just kind of did it from the heart, and really tried to make the best song I could to make sure she's remembered.
Yeah. And you know what? It's often hard for me to pick a favorite song from an album, especially when the material like you have here is so good. But like I said, I'm more specifically impressed with the songs that you wrote. But this, I would probably have to say, because of the heartfelt, emotion that goes into this song, I think this is my favorite song. So let's give this song a listen. All right, this is the title cut from Charlie McNeal's debut CD. This is Remember the Time.
Well, I was a boy just trying to be a man. Well, I was 19 the day I met Uncle Sam. I did one tour of duty down in that hot white sand. When I got home, I met my best friend. Do you remember the time we bought our first home? We had our baby, and we watched her grow. We had a plan of where we would go. Maybe out to LA or Colorado. Well, now all these things only exist in my mind, and now I must live to remember the time. Well, that doctor came in to tell me that awful news. It's her or the baby, she'd have to choose. up our babies and remember the time. Do you remember the time we bought our first home? When we had our babies. Now I watch them grow. Now all our plans only exist in my mind. Now I must live to remember the time. I'm only living to remember the time.
Okay, Remember the Time, the title cut from his new CD. Really a fantastic song. All right, Charlie, let's talk a little bit about that article that appeared in the Country Music People magazine, that album review that you got. How did you feel when that came out?
Oh, I was really excited when that came out, because they contacted us on Facebook. You know, they contacted me and my dad and said, you know, hey, we're gonna do a little mini feature, you know, on our next magazine, and you know, we'd like to, you know, we just wanted to let you know and all that, and you know, we sent them some songs and we sent them the link to our page and everything, and I was pretty happy when I, you know, found out that I won Honky Tonker of the Month in there.
All right. Okay, that must.
In the same mag as someone like George Strait.
Well, I'm sure it's done nothing but good things for the career, kind of pushing it and advancing it a little bit further. But that's congratulations on that. It's awesome to get that type of response so early in your career.
Yeah, it was definitely very humbling.
So what kind of performance schedule do you usually have? What kind of live gigs are you doing?
So I mostly do little venues around around the hometown, and you know, I play little bars and that, you know, breweries and stuff like that. But the biggest gig that I did was I got a chance to open for Willie Nelson, and it was probably the coolest thing I think I've ever done. You know, it was, when I found out, I was super excited. I was calling everyone I know, and you know, it was a good time for sure.
Well, that's awesome. Now, and how long did you get to perform?
I got to do one song, which is I think the song you're playing next, a little less coke and a lot more whiskey.
Okay, all right.
Just one song, straight acoustic, and yeah, it was a great time.
Awesome, totally awesome. Okay, why don't you tell everybody how they can stay in touch with you about the music and what all the things that are going on in your career?
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and my website. So the Instagram is Charlie McNeal Music. Facebook, also same thing, Charlie McNeal Music, and the website is charliemcneal.com. And I always post and keep people updated on what's going on in the music.
All right, that sounds great. Okay, and I had one other thing I was going to mention. Also, that Charlie's CD is available for download on iTunes. So if you like what you've heard so far, I strongly suggest you go to iTunes and pick up the entire album. You will not be disappointed with the material that you have, and it is an awesome album and CD. I have it, and I have listened to it. It is great music.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, and and one last thing, Charlie, before we go to the last song. When you are not doing the music, what do you like to do?
Just normal teenage boy things, riding dirt bikes, hanging out with my friends, and homework every now and then.
Every now and then, yeah. Okay.
All the good stuff.
Well, that's typical, I guess. Homework.
Driving the truck, doing burnouts. Hopefully, my dad didn't hear that.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he's listening. So you'll have to take care of that when we get off
Dad.
the air. All right, that's great. All right, I want to thank Charlie McNeal for coming on the show today. I think we've probably opened up another audience for you, Charlie, and I'm sure the listeners enjoyed listening to your music and getting to know you a little bit more. And we are going to continue to promote you, and we'll look for you for more success down the line.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on here.
My pleasure. Welcome back anytime, Charlie. Okay,
All right, thank you.
All right, so let's close it out. We're going to close it out with Charlie McNeal, and this is his latest single, and this is A Little Less Coke.
Sitting on the porch, thinking about a lot, drinking too much Jack, smoking too much pot. I think I need a little less Coke and a lot more whiskey. My girlfriend finally left me, she up and walked away. Told me she would leave me if I didn't change my ways. I chose to drink a little less Coke and a lot more whiskey. Dealing with this life just ain't easy. Sometimes you need a drink or two. Going cold turkey sounds too risky. I need a little less Coke and a lot more whiskey. Took me to a church where they talked about salvation. But all I was praying about was a bourbon vacation, me and Jim Beam, with a little less Coke and a lot more whiskey. Coke and a lot more whiskey. Dealing with this life just ain't easy. Sometimes you need a drink or two. Going cold turkey sounds too risky. A little less Coke and a lot more whiskey. Sitting on the porch, one of my own, thinking about the time I almost didn't make it home. Maybe I need a little more Coke and a lot less whiskey.